Welcome everybody to a new skill of the TOEFL PBT structure section with you, Shadi R. Abusive, and today we're going to talk about skill number 10. Now in skill number 10 we're going to talk about using noun clause connector subjects correctly. Now let me remind you of what we said in skill number 9, which is we said something about clauses. Now what is a clause? A clause is subject plus verb. A clause is subject plus verb. And we said that a noun clause is used as a noun. A noun clause is used as a noun. What do we mean by that? We mean that nouns can be used as subjects. Nouns can be used as objects. Nouns can be used as objects or prepositions. And we can do all these functions with the noun clauses. Now let me remind you of what we studied in skill number 9 because it's very important for today's skill. Okay, take this example. What you do is not important. Now how do we analyze this sentence here? We say that what you do is a noun clause. It's a noun clause that is used as a subject. A noun clause that is used as a subject. Look at this. So what you do is a subject. Now where is the verb? The main verb will be is, and let's give it a color here, and that one would be great. Now look at this. So what you do is not important. So got what you do here, that's the subject. Is the verb. Now forget about the whole sentence and now let's focus on the noun clause itself. What's inside it? When we look at the noun clause we see what, and what actually is a connector. And then we see you, which is a subject. And then we see do, which is a verb. So inside this noun clause we have three main elements. We've got the connector, we've got the subject, and we've got the verb. Well, that's fantastic. But this is going to change. Let's have a look at this. Let's see this sentence here. What, look at this one. What happens is not important. That's fantastic. Now this is another sentence here. Now where is the subject? The subject is what happens. Let's give it a color here. That's it. So what happens is the subject. And where is the main verb? Now is the main verb. Fantastic. So what happens is not important. Now what happens, this one is a noun clause, and what you do is also a noun clause. But there is a big difference between these two noun clauses here. Let's look at this one that is highlighted. We've got what, which is a connector, we've got you, which is a subject, and we've got do, which is a verb. But when you look at this one here, we've got what, which is a connector, and then we've got happens, which is a verb. So the question is, where is the subject? And the answer is what. This one, what, is a connector and subject at the same time. Well, now that's fantastic. This is the main difference, and this is what we are going to talk about in skill number 10. We are talking about connectors that can be used as a subject at the same time. So it is a connector and a subject at the same time. Now look at this example here. Another example. I knew who did it. Now look at this one here. That's a fantastic sentence. Let's analyze it together. I've got I, which is a subject, right? Fantastic. And then we've got new. What about new? New is a verb. Let's give it this color. So we've got I is a subject, new is a verb. And what about who did it? Who did it is a noun clause used as an object. Fantastic. So we've got I as a subject, new as a verb, and who did it as a noun clause used as an object. But let's look at who did it deep inside it. And we've got who did it. Okay, it's highlighted here. Okay, wait a minute. That's it. Who did it? We've got who as a connector, and then we've got did as a verb. Where is the subject? We say that who is a connector and a subject at the same time. Fantastic. So how many elements do we have here? We've got I as a subject. This is number 1. We've got new as a verb. This is number 2. And we've got the connector. This is number 3. And we've got the verb, which is number 4. Fantastic. Now, let me show you this one. As an object of a preposition. Like I can say, I am worried about... I am worried about what is going on. Fantastic. I'm worried about what is going on. Now I is a subject. And what about am? Am, well, that's a verb. Fantastic. Okay, and then we've got worried about. We've got about, that's a preposition. And what is going on is an object of the preposition about. Let's give it a color here. That one would be nice. Fantastic. So, I am worried about what is going on. I am worried about what is going on. Now, what is going on is a noun clause used as an object of the preposition about. When you look inside this noun clause, what you see is a connector and a subject at the same time. So what is a connector and a subject at the same time? And then we've got a verb. Now, here comes a very important question here, which is, what are the connectors that can be used as a subject at the same time? So, what are the connectors that can be used as subjects? Now, let me give you, let me write all the connectors that can be used as subjects here. I've got who and whoever. And we've got what and whatever. Fantastic. And we've got which and whichever. Well, that's amazing. Kushti, great. So these are the connectors that can be used as subjects. Fantastic. Now let's see how the questions in the TOEFL PBT come concerning this skill here. Now look at this fantastic question here, which is an MCQ question. Wars on television made me angry. And then we've got A, B, C, D, 4 choices. We've got it, the story, what, and when. Now let's analyze this one in order to be, sure about what we're doing. Now we've got was here, which is a verb. Fantastic. We've got was as a verb. Then we've got made, which is another verb. Okay, so we've got 2 verbs here, no connectors, which means that we need a connector. Okay, in it's so important that we have a connector here, because we cannot have 2 verbs in English without a connector like that. Now when we look at this, we've got me as an object and we've got this as a verb. So what we need here, is a subject and also a connector. So is it? It was? No, that's only a subject. The story, that's only a subject. What? Okay, and when. So which one will be chosen here? We can't choose when. Why? Because when is only a connector, but what can be a connector and subject at the same time, because we said that what and whatever, who, whoever, whichever can be connectors and subjects at the same time. So the right answer will be what? Because when I write what here, look at this, the sentence will be, what was on television made me angry. Fantastic. What was on television made me angry. So I will have this noun clause as a subject, and then made will be a verb, and me an object. Fantastic. It will be cool. Now let's move to a correct and incorrect question. Now when we look at this sentence here, I've got, you should find out which the best physics department. Now let's analyze this sentence to see if it's correct or incorrect. We've got you here, which is a subject. Fantastic. So I've got you as a subject. And then we've got should find out, which is a verb. That's great. So I've got should find out, which is a verb. And then we have which the best physics department, which is a noun clause used as an object. Now, let's analyze the noun clause itself. We've got which is a connector, and it could be a subject at the same time. Why? Because we said that which and whichever, who, whoever, what, whatever, can be used as subjects and connectors at the same time. Now the main problem here in this noun clause that we don't have a verb. There is no verb. Which is not a verb. The best physics department, that's not a verb. So in order to make it correct, all what we need to do is to put a verb. So we need to add something like is here. Look at this one. And in this case, the sentence would be completely correct. Let's read it together. You should find out which is the best physics department. Now that's a correct sentence. And this sentence goes as follows. Look at this. Whoever wants to take the desert tour during spring break, signing up at the office. Let me fix that. Fantastic. So the sentence says whoever wants to take the desert tour during a spring break, signing up at the office. Now in order to see if this one is correct or incorrect, we need to analyze it. Now look at this one here. We've got let's have the main one. We've got whoever, which is a connector. Fantastic. It's a connector and a subject at the same time because we have only verb after it. Okay, and this is the verb. Great. So we've got whoever as a subject and we've got wants as a verb. That's great. So we've got here whoever, subject and connector, and then we've got this one as a verb. So this is a noun clause used as a subject because it comes at the very beginning of the sentence, which means that because all this one is a subject, let's give it one color here in order to make everything clear. Fantastic. All of this is a subject, which means that we need a verb. Signing up, is it a verb? We say no, signing up is not a verb. Why? Because the present participle cannot stand alone as a verb. And we said that before in one of the previous skills. So in order to make signing up a verb, we need to put before it verb to be. Okay? Maybe verb to be, maybe we can put something like that one. Whoever wants to take the desert tour during a spring break, that would be a nice answer, must sign up. Fantastic. In this case, that's a verb here. Whoever wants to take the desert tour during a spring break must sign up at the office. Well, that's fantastic. Now I can say that must sign is a verb and a good one. Great. So the problem in the sentence or that it didn't have a verb. Okay, now let's move to another one and see if it's correct or incorrect. Now look at this one. The motorist was unable to discover who he had struck his car. Okay, the motorist was unable to discover who he had struck his car. Well, that's great. Now look at this. The motorist was unable to discover who he had struck his car. Now, we need to analyze this one in order to see if it's correct or incorrect. Now, the motorist, that's a subject, for sure. And was, well, actually, that is a verb. Oh, so we've got the motorist, which is a subject, and we've got was, which is a verb. So the motorist was unable to discover, then we have who he had struck his car, which is an object. Let's give it a color, all of it here. Fantastic, purple. Now the motorist was unable to discover who he had struck his car. Now let's look carefully at the clause, the noun clause here used as an object. We've got who, which is a connector, and sometimes it can be used also as a subject. And then we've got he had struck his car. We've got he as a subject. Well, actually, according to the meaning, we don't need he. He is an extra subject here. And the sentence doesn't give a meaning with this here. The motorist was unable to discover who he had struck his car. Well, that's horrible. We need to take he out in order to make the meaning correct. So the sentence becomes, the motorist was unable to discover who had struck his car, because who here is a connector and a subject at the same time. So we don't need another subject after who, because in this case we will have double subjects, and that's a mistake. I guess we came to the end of this skill. What I want to say is thank you very much for watching that episode, and see you inshallah next time in a very amazing skill, the TOEFL PBT structure section. See you inshallah next time. That was Shadi or Abu Yusuf. Okay, that's how you say my name. Assalamu alaikum, bye bye, see you next time.